let's look at Matthew chapter 6. We're going to start at let's start at verse 1. So verse 1 says, "Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise, you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Therefore, when you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory from men. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. But when you do a charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly." So let's look at this. When we look at this first one, this is a warning. Remember, when have we seen take heed before? Does anybody remember any other times? Yes, all through the Beatitudes. All through, you see through Matthew. Take heed from the leaven of the Pharisees. Take heed lest no man deceive you. Take heed that you do not. Take heed. It's a very important thing when Jesus is telling you take heed. He's telling you to be very careful that you do not do your charitable deeds before men. When you look at the charitable deeds, we look at this passage, where else? There's somewhere else in Matthew where Jesus talked about charitable deeds, and he broke down, it's tying in with Matthew chapter 6. Somebody look at Matthew 25. Matthew 25. I'm going to go down to see, where would it start? Probably 34. I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, 34. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Now look what the righteous say in 37. "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison or come to you?" What is this saying? If you tie it in with Matthew chapter 6, how does this tie in? That's a list of charitable deeds, exactly. It's a list of charitable deeds. And look at what do the righteous say? Exactly. When did I see you? The implication is that I was just used to doing something that I didn't realize it was you, because I wasn't trying to look for. See, the Pharisees had a habit of looking for people so that the people could see. Jesus wanted them to be in a habit of just doing. Just doing. I would tell the kids, and we would talk a lot of times when they would say, "So how do you want me to do this? When do you want me to?" I said, "Listen, Miles Davis always said, practice, bless you. Practice, bless you." I'm going to try it again. Okay. He would say, and this is a very good statement. I love it. I learned it in my when I was at school. Practice, 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 and then forget all that and just play. Think about it. He said, practice, 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 and then forget all that and just play. Why? The more you practice, the more it becomes a part of you. So when you're getting ready to play, you don't have to think about what did I learn in practice. It becomes a part of you. So when Jesus is talking in Matthew 6 about the charitable deeds, he's talking, I want you to practice doing these deeds to the point that it just becomes a part of you. It's second nature to see somebody in need and say, I'm going to help them. It's second nature for you to not look to see, oh, you're a pastor. Oh, yeah, I'll help you. Oh, you're a Christian. Oh, yeah, I'll help you. Oh, you have money. Oh, yeah, I'll help you. See, Jesus didn't want that. He didn't want you to come and say, oh, you're of this nature. You're of this stature. You're in this category. I will help you because you're in this category. Because when you look at it in this category, then that means that only certain people should be helped. Where do we see a problem like that in Scripture? Jesus giving a parable. What parable can you associate with that? I only help certain people. The Good Samaritan. Remember? This man, no, I don't help those people. I don't help those people. Then the Samaritan comes along and says, somebody needs help. That's the charitable deeds that you see when Jesus is talking about this. Now look at it, he says, you sounding your trumpet. Don't sound your trumpet before the hypocrites. Who are the hypocrites? Who are the hypocrites? He's talking specifically. The Pharisees, because remember, he always called them the hypocrites. So he does not want us to associate as having the same, being in the same category as the Pharisees. Why? Because the Pharisees sounded a trumpet. And look, they do it in the synagogues and in the streets. Now look at this. This is where it even goes back to Matthew 25. They have their what? Reward. How do they have their reward? Openly. Think about it. So they want a reward. They want the prestige and they want the focus and they want to hear the words of men. They want to look good before men. Now Matthew 25, what's that reward? The one we just read. Sorry? Exactly. Look at the difference. They have their reward from men, but you'll have your reward from me. Look at the difference. When you look at it, Jesus is saying, don't do it openly because, or don't do it to be seen, excuse me. Don't do it to be seen because then you'll just get a man to reward you. But do it so that nobody knows you're doing it to be seen. You're doing it just because it's second nature to you. And then I'll reward you. When will you reward me, Jesus? Yes. So I like saying to the kids, Daddy, how long? Yes. But when you do your charitable deeds, and I'd like to see somebody explain this one. When you do your charitable deeds, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. What do you feel that means? Don't go telling your business. Anybody else? Don't boast. Don't boast about, okay. Sorry? If you're willing to keep a secret from yourself, you're willing to keep a secret. Once or twice. Mm-hmm. naturally doing from left hand to the right hand. Yeah, you're not, not letting your right hand, let your left hand. But why would Jesus bring out, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing? Why? What's the significance? Is there a significance? Are we reading too much into it? Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Yes, ma'am.
Could it be that in a sense that your left hand could hinder your right hand from doing it again? You know, so if I told you if you're my left hand per se, and I tell you, and then you could be like Judas, no. We could have sold that. You instead of giving that to this person, you could have did something else with that. So my left hand might hinder my right hand.
Your left hand could hinder your right hand. That's a good one. Yes, sir.
And as long as we're doing analogies here, aren't we Christ's body? And isn't one hand in Christ's body and another hand maybe somebody else? So you're blowing the whole keep it secret thing, making it
Yeah, Christ's body, one hand. Yeah, you have a function. He's talking about. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Ooh, when you're doing something with both hands, you're completely focused on it. How so? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, anything that you're working with both hands, you can't really be working with both hands and not, like not paying attention or being a casual.
Ooh,
It's like
that's a good one.
intense, I'm working with this thing. And so if you're only doing it with one hand, you could be doing something else. You could have your focus somewhere else. It could be a kind of a casual thing that you're doing.
So doing it with both hands, you're saying it will take all of my attention at me doing what I am doing. At doing it with one hand, I'm not focused on me. Yes, sir.
Can I just come up there and do an illustration?
Sure.
Is he bringing a basketball?
I have one hand holding the Bible, another hand turning the page. But if I take both hands and try to turn the page, the Bible's dropped.
That's a good analogy. Yeah. Don't let your, so one hand, and I think they're tying in together. I like those. That's nice. That was a good analogy. You saw that? Yeah. My left hand's job is one thing, and my right hand's job is another thing. The moment they're both focused at doing something, they're both trying to do the same thing, trying to get all the focus, trying to get all the attention, and can't work together. Can't work together. Yeah. I like that. I'm not going to say what I was thinking because yours sounded better, sis. No, I like that. I think, a lot of times our left hand and our right hand, when you're doing something, a lot of times, again, I just love the fact that you can try to get all the attention here for me. And not letting it, for me, it just seems like it's harder to not let my left hand know what my right hand is doing. It's more challenging. When I had surgery on my shoulder, it was one of the hardest things for me to do. I had to be like this for 6 weeks. And then this for 2 weeks, and then I could start doing, I think it was, 6 months was here. 6 months was about right here. And it was so hard because I was ready to use both hands, but I couldn't. I had to use this hand and not let this hand know that I needed it. Because I was so used to at times doing things with two hands. And I had to not let my left hand know that my right hand needed help. Because if my right hand needed help, so what even I had to do was lower the amount of expectation. I know what I can do. but I can't do it. I can't use my left hand. I need to be able to do more. God, can you help me? If you see what I'm saying. So it's like, Lord, here's my hand. I need your hand to touch this. You see, Lord, I need your hand to help me move this. Lord, I need your hand to help change this. So it's a constant reliance, because when I'm in my full strength, two hands, I'll do it by myself. But here I'm doing this charitable deed. Lord, I need you to bless this as I do it, because I don't want to bless it myself. I don't want to do it all by myself. I need you. I need you. And look at, it says here, that your charitable deed may be in secret. And your Father in heaven who sees in secret himself will reward you openly. How hard is it to do a deed in secret and then somebody wants to know, oh man, that was nice. Who did that? You want to say, doesn't your flesh, you want to say, really? Yeah. Or, yeah. It's like, yeah, me. You know, I did it. I remember this boss I used to have. He used to talk about how humble he was. He was like, you know, and yeah, he got awards for being humble. We'd say, oh, have a seat here. No, I can sit anywhere I want to. I'm a humble guy. Really, I'm humble. And I'm like, fail. Epic. Yeah, it was just, it's hilarious, because then later on he would talk about, you know, like different accolades or different things that he had done. And he saw my shoes. Oh, those are nice. Yeah, I got these on sale. How much they cost? Oh, man, I got them for like $50 on sale. And that's way more than I would spend, but you don't know how much these cost. No, and then he told me, he says, no, I don't want to know the sale price. If I'm going to buy them, I only buy full price. I don't do sale price. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Most humble guys do pay full price for things, you know? So, yeah. It's... yeah, that's secret. That's secret. Sometimes, I tell you what, sometimes the secret that you have, that is a good secret that you know that should be shared, that good word that you have that you know should be shared, is a secret word. Some of the things, there's certain things I have in my notepad that I wanted to share that God said, Roscoe, it's just for you. And I'm like, but this is good, God. And then I'd have an opportunity to say something to somebody, but it's it's not being selfish. Sometimes the charitable deeds that God has for you to do in secret are the charitable deeds that he has you to do for you. Yeah, you have to understand. Sometimes he wants you to do something for you, not because he wants you to be better than, but he wants you to know that he did it, and he only wants you to know, and he wants you to hold it. That word, there were times, oh God, this is a good word. I spoke it for you, Roscoe. Ooh, can I share this with somebody? It's for you. Oh, this could help somebody. Yes, but it'll come from you, and I don't want it to. But this is a good one. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm God. God, can I just create an anonymous Facebook account and post this, and then I'll share it? You know? So it's like, oh, who? I don't know who that guy is, but it's a great word. Yes, but then you'll feel the pride entering inside of you. I don't want anybody to know. There's times, even in prayer time, there's something, and I'm like, ugh, That's good, and I'll write it down. Because God, even when you look at the charitable deeds, when you look at him talking about doing it in secret, what is that building? I like that. Yes, that's true. I heard it. Relationship, right? Is that what you said? Is that what you said? Relation. What is that building? What's that building inside of us? What is it building? It's a part of character. It's part of faith. It's something specific. Humility. What's it building? Humility. You said what? I think somebody said it. Somebody was whispering it. Humility. Because think about it. How many times do we get a word, want to share it, and then people talk about what a great word it was, and then you get the next time you want to share something, somebody tell you, oh, it was a great word, and now what happens? The third time you're somewhere, you know you're going to share a word. I know God's going to speak to me, and then God doesn't speak to you, but you still share a word that you made up. Why? So God, when I'm doing it in secret, and I get used to holding things in secret, when you look in the book of Luke, you'll see that it said that Mary saw Jesus doing certain things. And what did she do? She treasured them in her heart. Exactly. She could have gone and be like, hey, I'm going to tell y'all what my son did. Do y'all know what the angel said about my boy? Let's think about it. Mary didn't go and boast that you guys would never guess. I got a prophetic word that my son is going to save all you sinners. I'm telling you, it's like he spoke this word into me that says, for he so loved y'all that he gave me a baby. Because I'm blessed among women. I mean, really. The Catholics wouldn't have kept her. No, it would have been she could have boasted, but she stored it in her heart. Why? Because it's better for some things to be in secret than it is for everybody to know. Yes, sir. Her focus was on God, not on men. And when you look at charitable deeds, the purpose of charitable deeds is for who? It's for God. It's always for God. When I'm doing something, what does Scripture say? In all that you do it. Exactly. It's part of. Yeah, love your neighbor as yourself. Because if I'm practicing being seen, how is that going to benefit the kingdom? So quick, because remember Jesus talked about what? That this is our lifestyle is supposed to be, we're supposed to be kingdom-minded. So if we're supposed to be kingdom-minded, then the focus is to that I must think, I must walk, talk, behave, resembling who? The King. The King. Because if I'm kingdom-minded, the focus is the King. So everything I do, everything I speak, every action, every deed, it's all centered around the king. And let's look at this one here. We're not going to go into the prayer, but just here in 5, it says, when you pray, again, you shall not be as the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the corners of the streets, that they may be what? Seen by men. Assuredly I say unto you, what does Jesus say again? They have their reward. They have their reward. But look at 6. But when you pray, this is the second time he talks about what? What kind of place? A closet. And what is that? A place in secret. When you go to your room, you have shut your door. Pray to your Father who is in the... We talked about doing things in secret, and now he says go to the secret place. But look, you go into your room, for your Father is where? In the secret place. So doesn't this open up the secret place so much more for us? I need to do things in secret. I need to be in the secret place. Why? Because the secret, that's where God is. That's where God is. The secret place, he says, that's where I am. So I need you to do things in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. I think the best words you can hear in your life are, well done, my good and faithful servant. I don't think you can top that. You can't top that. That is exactly. There you go. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. You get well done, my good and faithful servant. When he sees in secret, don't be like the hypocrites. They're standing out on a... Has anybody ever been to the Middle East? Similar, yes. No, Calvin, not the Middle East, the Gary. That's the most hood response I done ever heard before in my life. Like, hey, man, we gonna jump. What kind of jump? You talking about jump in the air or gun jump? So the two kind of, I'm like, no. Yeah, count of 3 jump. Which one? Sorry. Some of y'all probably don't even know the gun jump, do you? No. Oh, y'all so cute. Oh, you never grew up around guns. Yeah, we grew up, we knew a gun jump. You knew a gun jump if there was a gun. Bah, bah, you knew, yeah. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this. So, where was I going? Okay. So we were talking about guns. Okay, so in the Middle East, at noon, there was a call from the mosque tower. At dawn and at dusk, there is a call from the mosque tower, and there's a man who will sing, he will belt at the top of his lungs with a microphone as loud as he can. It is known in Islam as the call to worship. And whatever you are doing, if you're doing something, you have to stop. And you have to bow. You pull out your mat, spread it out if you have a mat. If you don't have your mat with you because you were in the middle of doing something, then you bow and you pray. And what a lot of them will do is a lot of them too will try and get to a wall or if there's a rock, and they will hit their head. The people who have knots on their head, Mom knows this, Mom remembers this, they're the ones that are seen as the holiest because they're willing to damage their body for the sake of a dead God. So they're willing to bring pain upon themselves. So they will put, you know, and even on the ones who are at the wall too, they'll just bang their head as they're praying, and they bang, and you'll see a knot right here on their head. To be seen. If you see what I'm talking about, it's to be seen. It's a reward. So people will say, oh, wow, were you praying today? Oh, I pray every day. Oh, man, yes, I'm getting ready to go pray. And then some of them will even, I heard one guy said that the dude had a knot. He had gone to pray, but then he says, no, I'm going to go pray. So they're like, oh, okay, come with us. So he had a knot that he gave himself, and he was about to expand that knot because he was willing to be seen as holier than thou. Now let's take that, and let's take this example of a gentleman who went to a country, and he gets to this country and he sees this this poor black man standing there, and he says, yes, please take my bags, put them in the car. He says, yes, sir. Puts them in the car. The gentleman gets in the back seat, and he says, where are you going, sir? He says, I'm going to such and such an address. Okay. Takes him there. When he gets to the address, the black gentleman gets out of the car, takes the bags, and he says, please put them in my room here. And he puts them in the room. Anything else? He says, no, that's all. You can go because I have to get ready for the meeting. The pastor was preaching some crusades. So he gets in there. The pastor's praying. And as he's praying, gets ready for the meeting, you remember, he gets out to get ready for the meeting, and he's getting ready to preach at this nice tent meeting. Before he preaches, they say, we are so happy that the man of God, William Duma, is here. Can you please come? The same poor old black man walks to the front. And the pastor realizes the person who he treated like a servant was really the man of God he was waiting to meet. The difference. The difference. He was even willing, and we can stop here, he was even willing to do charitable deeds for somebody who did not deserve it. He was willing to be kind to somebody who didn't deserve it. He was willing to be a blessing to somebody who the flesh would say that person should deserve a curse. Because remember, when you're angry with somebody, oh man, God, pray a curse upon your life. But what did Jesus say? Bless those. There you go. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who despitefully use you, because you will unknowingly